Hello, my name is Jay and welcome back to my Tech Vault. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Senyer RGB strip, and this is 10 meters, 33 feet of RGB goodness. And this is an LED strip that is Wi-Fi controlled, apps, you can get an app that controls it. You can go to town and make a rave party with 50 feet. And this is actually pretty heavy too, like surprisingly, this is actually like pretty dang heavy for what it feels like. It feels like it's pretty, yeah, it feels like there's a lot in there. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to unbox it, test it, and then we're going to go to town having a little fun with some RGB, decorate the place with some RGB, and yeah, kind of excited to unbox this one because it's not every day you get something that can be staying around in your setup. A lot of earbuds I use, but you don't really get to see them used in the videos that I do in the background. But this will be going back there. So we're going to be testing this out, seeing how it looks, and of course, as you are welcome to check that out. We're going to start off with the unboxing. We're going to test it, and then I might do a little bit of me messing around with the RGBs, which you might have already seen. But yeah, we're going to get into this RGB goodness, and yes, that is a word. So let's start with the unboxing. Okay, it's time for some RGB. Let's get cracking at the RGB, guys. I'm really excited. So this is a whole 33 feet of RGB, which I think is absolutely awesome. So let's take a look. So starting off, you have a power brick. You have a 12-watt power brick. Like, if that's not any indicator of how powerful this RGB is going to be, it's a whole 12 watts. So here we are. We've got the little LED controller. So let's take this out so we can actually take a look at this. So basically what this does is it allows you to do it on a remote, but it also lets you control it through an app, which I think is also pretty cool because if you're doing, like you can control it through your phone rather than having to go out and, you know, find this remote where this is. So I think that's about how you set it up, and there's a little sticky strip too. So set up, but we'll get to that later. I'll put that over here for now. And then we got a little bit of an RGB splitter, so if you want to take your RGB and have it controlled two different ways, I guess, then that's what you're doing here. So I guess you just pop that there and you can split the RGB into two different strips, which I think is cool as well. And then we've got a little bit of one of these RGB splitter things, which I guess is what you put on the end if you wanted to, for example, split the RGB strip into two pieces. The other thing is this is a solid RGB strip, which means that practically once you're done, or once you've got it set up, it's literally splits off into two strips, and it's just solid two strips. It's not like you have little connection pieces in between. This is a solid, like, 33 feet of RGB lights, which I'm interested to see how bright this is. So keep in mind, this actually comes in two rolls, so it's not, you know, RGB. Danger, guys. This bag contains electrostatic materials. Okay, so here we are, boys. Here it is. This is where things get interesting. So, right off the bat, we've got just a little bit of RGB. Like, oh my goodness, just a little. I'm gonna just have to plug this in just to test this, just to see what it looks like if I just turn these on. Just turn them on. Not even gonna take them out of the packaging. I don't want to actually mess up the circuit or since they're tied up right now and nice and neat. I don't want to mess those up. So make sure, yeah, I gotta make sure I put the arrows in the right way because otherwise it will mess up. So make sure I put the arrows in the right way. And then I gotta figure out how to get this light strip plugged in, and then we're gonna see how RGB this thing gets. Okay, so the moment of truth, here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's a little bit of RGB. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of RGB lights. Let's see, does it do a, oh yeah, does it fade? Does it fade? Oh yeah. There's your fade for you. Oh yeah. If that isn't RGB enough for you, oh my goodness. That is really some RGB. Like, that's, to be honest with you, it's so bright that it's kind of surprising. Let me turn off the overhead lights real quick, just so you guys can see this. Like, this is enough to light this up substantially well, which is really making me excited to put this on the setup, because this is like lit up pretty substantial. So let me turn those back on. But it's pretty dang impressive, especially because it's light controlled stuff. So I'm going to get the app set up. I'm going to see if I can get that set up, and then we're going to start going to town on taking these out and I guess decorating with them. So I have set them all up, and I am going to go over all the cool features that these have, simply because I just want to talk about the cool stuff that they can do. Obviously I've thrown them everywhere, and so these are not going to be the final resting positions of these lights. A couple things to note though. Number one, the lights are actually really compact, so they're really bright. So basically you get a lot of different color variation. The second thing is a lot of cool features on the Wi-Fi. It's not like you connect to a Wi-Fi network and then use that. It actually, you log in and you connect to the Wi-Fi network and then you connect to your home Wi-Fi network, and it bridges them so you can connect anywhere, anytime, any place, which I think is actually pretty cool. The next thing is there's a bunch of features. So you can actually have this linked up to music. You can have this linked up, actually I'm going to go down a list of here so I'm actually, being accurate when I say this. You can have it linked up to the microphone, so if you're playing music and you put your phone next to it, you can actually play out of this. And now that's the feature I'm using now, but I'm just talking. As you can see, it syncs the lights back behind me so that whatever I'm saying is actually heard and, I guess, represented in the lights. I think is actually pretty cool. There's also a bunch of different functions you can set up to do like different sets of lights or switching between certain colors. You can basically customize it. There's another feature for music, so it syncs to whatever you're playing on your phone. I will say there's one bad side about that though, is that the music is not like through iTunes or whatever. You have to do it, load all your music up into this app, and then it goes through and does it. A little painful. I think the microphone feature is by far the best because you just sit it next to something and then you can pretty much just go listen to music and it represents without a problem through the lights. One other small little feature, actually this end right here, the LED ending, the soldering came off the end. So if you're planning on doing a direct connection, just be careful when you're handling the ends. It really did actually come off. I'll make sure I put a picture of it up there. But the solder came off the end and the little connection piece kind of popped off as well. So it kind of, I guess there's one missing wire that's hanging off, which I wasn't able to charge or get the other LED strip going, which I think maybe just because it's low on power, so I'm not going to blame it on anything. But I do think that would be something to keep in mind. Also, there's other ways you can do this. You can capture the color, so you can match a color with the camera. So for example, I wanted to match this color. Let's see if I can capture that color. You can go through and it captures it directly on the camera so that it captures directly. It's not as accurate as you'd like, but I do think that's pretty cool that it can capture it without relatively close. It's not really super accurate, I would say, but it does kind of do a cool job with that, so I have no complaints. With the microphone, I like a lot. It's a cool feature. And then you got your music and you got all your different functions. And then of course you can just manually control it, change brightness all the way up, and then you can change the colors, change it to pink, blue, green, all that stuff, which I think is also a cool feature on there as well. Now obviously I'd have all the lights off and stuff, so when I go back to talking, but yeah, you can hear, there you go, I'm going through and talking, having it linked up, all that stuff like that. But I think it's pretty cool. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. The link to these lights will be in the description. A lot of cool features on them. As for your setup, I think it would be cool to do if you're into the music. I'm actually going to go through and redo these so they're actually very pretty and they don't look as weird. I'll probably just get some tape because I plan to reuse these when I'm off to college. And that way you can kind of get a good view of the background as it goes through as I talk. I don't know if I'm going to have it set up so when I talk it does all the lights, but I think I'm definitely going to use it for music from now on. Thank you very much for watching.